Oh hey, didn't see you there after I hit record. Welcome to Drunk with Power Metal, and as you can see here, we have a theme. This is Drunk with Power Metal Helloween on Halloween. Alright, as you can probably tell by now, we are talking about my favorite band, Helloween. I love these guys. They are, well, they're my favorite power metal band. I've been into them for most of my life now, and they just had 3 re-releases, reissues, but they're not just reissues, they're remasters. But they're also 3 of -1 their most recent albums. So what's the point? What's even going on here? Why? So since we are celebrating Halloween on this fine day of Halloween, I figured we ought to try a German beer. This one known to come from the world's oldest brewery, Weizenstephaner. Yeah, I don't know how to say all that, but we're gonna try it because Helloween is the OG. Ziggy, what are you doing here? But Helloween is the OG power metal band from Germany, and so we're talking about some of the world's oldest power metal. We're talking about the world's oldest brewery from Germany. Let's do it. It even tastes old. Actually, it's pretty good. It gives you this kind of wood-like flavor, like at the back of your throat when you drink it. Also has aspects that kind of taste a lot like a light beer at the same time. So it's like, tastes like a really full light beer that is also wood. I don't know. I like it. So Helloween, if you don't know Helloween, I don't know what you're doing on this channel. Go check out some Helloween videos and songs and albums, all that jazz. Go douse yourself in Helloween on this, the unholiest of days, Halloween. As you can see, I've gone all out. I've got a Helloween logo jack-o'-lantern. You can compare the two right there. And I've got our 3 albums that we're going to be talking about up here. Helloween, they've been around since the mid-1980s. They've had several lineup changes over the years, but they've been fairly consistent and very consistently put out great records, even when they don't always sound like what you want Helloween to sound like, necessarily. And I'm talking about albums like Chameleon and this one that we'll get to. They're still quality music, and it's always comes in the form of a really good album that's worth listening to. This is going to be a little bit different from my standard review videos. I'm really just going to be giving you a basic overview of each of these albums, and then I'm going to talk about the remaster job and what changed. So we're going to start with Unarmed here, because chronologically, between these 3 albums, it is the first. Unarmed came at a very strange time for Helloween. Well, it was their 25th anniversary, so yeah. But it came after one of, at the time, their probably heaviest records, Gambling with the Devil, although The Dark Ride was pretty heavy. But aside from that, Gambling with the Devil was probably their heaviest. And then it was followed by this, which opens up with a jazz version of the song Dr. Steen. One of their classic tracks. And it's just a full-on jazz track. The thing about this album is they sort of did past songs throughout their career, but in different unexpected ways. So there's some jazz, there's some orchestral stuff. In particular, they did the Keeper's Trilogy, featuring songs from Halloween by Helloween, which we're talking about on Halloween, in our discussion of Helloween. It's a combination of the songs Halloween, Keeper of the Seven Keys, from Keeper of the Seven Keys parts 1 and 2 distinctively, and King for 1,000 Years, the opening track from Keeper of the Seven Keys, The Legacy, the first album to feature the lineup that exists on these 3 records. So, that's really cool. That's, I think, the highlight of all of that. They also have like a weird version of Eagle Fly Free that sounds like Simon and Garfunkel went to Africa on some kind of a crazy vision trip, and this is what they came back with. This is Eagle Fly Free. Even though it's traditionally a fuck yeah, power metal, well, hear the trumpets playing from the mountaintops type of song. Instead here it's just super chill, Eagle Fly Free, and I actually kind of like it. Yeah, I'm really big on a lot of these. It's a really nice album to just listen to. If you're not trying to listen to Helloween as Helloween, and you want to hear some of their weird dynamics that they can do as an orchestral / jazz band, here you go. Unarmed, 25th anniversary of Helloween. So after confusing fans following Gambling with the Devil with Unarmed, a jazz orchestral record, Helloween came back with what is now, I believe, their absolute heaviest record, Seven Sinners. Seven Sinners is probably their darkest album, definitely since The Dark Ride, which is an appropriately dark album. It has a more consistent mood to it, although it still has a lot of Helloween trademarks. Like there's some goofiness in some of the songs, like Raise the Noise, which is a weird song about space aliens and invaders who end up being defeated by the power of music. Yeah, it's got lots of uplifting stuff in there too. My Sacrifice is interesting. It's about a Jesus-like character who sacrifices himself to rescue mankind, and it's my favorite on the album. It's also Far in the Future. What an interesting track to end on, because it's about Andy Darris, the singer's friend, who was in a coma, and Andy Darris did say in an interview that the friend that it happens to be about did wake up from the coma. So in the end it had a happy ending, but in the case of the song, it's a question of like, I don't know if he's gonna wake up again. But I should also mention that these last 2 albums that I'm going to talk about here also feature all the bonus tracks. That means not just the special edition ones from when the album came out, and you got the special edition, had the bonus tracks, also has the Japanese only bonus tracks, which were previously unavailable unless you just imported that version of the album. You couldn't get it digitally or anything until these remasters, so heck yeah. Another fun fact about this record is that the instruments and everything were all recorded at the frequency of water. So it ends up having a weird, almost soothing effect, at least to me, when listening to the record, because it's the frequency of water. It's weird. It sounds super heavy, but it has this kind of weird, I don't know how to describe it. It gives you kind of a weird feeling when you listen to it. Check it out, Seven Sinners. It's great. And also make sure you get the remastered version, because it's great. I should say also, the remastered versions don't just exist in vinyls. You can actually get them digitally, although the quality is not going to be the same. You won't notice all the, well, I'll get to the remaster stuff later, but you won't notice all the same, you won't have the same impact as you would from this, or presumably the CDs. I don't have the CDs, I just bought these. So I thought it was still fun. Oh no, don't fizz up! No! The day is saved. Alright, so the third and final album we're going to be talking about in this video is my favorite Helloween album, Straight Out of Hell! What an appropriate album name for Helloween. Look at that album cover. You got some Iron Maiden the Trooper going on here. There's some crazy stuff going on here. That's a pumpkin skull. Pumpkins have skulls? You didn't have a skull? Pumpkin skull? I don't know. Goofiness aside, I really like this album cover. I haven't been a big fan of the CG look they've been doing in their album covers since Keeper of the Seven Keys of Legacy, since this lineup started up. But of the albums, I do really like this cover. Beyond just talking about the cover, though, oh, I didn't mention. Check out the inside of these. That's so cool. Look at that. That's neat. You got the track list, you got the band photo, you got the really cool Helloween logo down there. It's pretty. And beer, cause we're on brand. So anyway, actually I wanted to go into the packaging later. Alright, so this is Straight Out of Hell. It is the second most recent Helloween album. The most recent, at this time, being My God-Given Right. This is not remastered, this is just standard vinyl I originally got. I'm showing off. Look at that. Look at those guys! They're so cool. Look at that! The pumpkin mecha going like fucking metal, man. Yeah. Love it. Straight Out of Hell. I gotta stop getting distracted. Straight Out of Hell is sort of a return to form in a lot of ways. Seven Sinners took the band as heavy as they've ever been, but Helloween isn't necessarily known for being a heavy band. They're known for being a power metal band. So this album sort of combines their classic power metal feel with some of the heaviness that you get in an album like Seven Sinners. Although they didn't do the water thing again, it still, they have a lot of heaviness elements. Songs like Nabatea, for instance, were an interesting opener. It sounds an awful lot like certain parts of the song Keeper of the Seven Keys in there. And it's that kind of epic song, but it plays out lyrically like it's somebody's report, like their school report that they just learned all about Nabatea, and now they're gonna tell you, way back in time was a nation survived, thought they had what it takes to lead a good life, and talks about the Nabateans and all they did. They founded the first democracy before it was known as democracy. What's up with that? Gotta have a song about that. Come on, Helloween. Killing it. In all seriousness, though, I really love that song. It's cool. I love every song on here. Every song. That's why this is my favorite. World of War. It's this epic power metal song whose verses have this heavy, chunky guitar. Then you have slower songs that are inspirational, like Live Now. It's another one. Waiting for the Thunder is a song that has you like standing defiant, like, yeah, here I am, waiting for the thunder, come on, and like, it's just a song that's just like, yeah, bring it on, I can take whatever you're throwing at me. That kind of attitude, that's the Helloween attitude, and it's great, man. It'll get you through some things, man. They got a great ballad here with Hold Me in Your Arms. Super catchy, and also features some of the lowest vocals I've ever heard from Andy Darris, which is pretty neat. Then you got the song Straight Outta Hell, which is a straightforward Helloween song. They played it, I think, both times when I saw them. I saw them on the My God-Given Right tour, and I also saw them on Pumpkins United, and yeah, they did that and Waiting for the Thunder both those times. Super cool. Fun shows. Great band. I need to get back on topic. We got all the bonus tracks. We got the Japanese bonus tracks, which is great, because previously I could only listen to the song No Eternity if I went onto YouTube and searched for Helloween No Eternity, the Japanese only bonus track. But now I can listen to it anywhere I want because I have it digitally on my phone, but I can also listen to it on my record player because it's on the vinyl. Look at that. There it is. No Eternity. And it's such a cool song. For some reason, it reminds me of, what is that song? It's by the Carpenters, Top of the World. It reminds me of Top of the World, but it's a Helloween song, and it's metal, and it's fun. It's happy. And you have Burning Sun, the Hammond organ version. It replaces the rhythm guitar with a Hammond organ, and you have a Hammond organ solo in there. It's fucking great. It's in honor of John Lord, who passed away a few years ago. Rest in peace. Yeah, man. Fucking Helloween, straight out of hell. This is where the images go. I'm not using images in this video. I don't need them. I have the vinyls. I'm very excited. So let's talk about the packaging for a little bit, because the packaging is still pretty cool. You've got, obviously, the front cover, the back with some cool artwork, and the track list. Then you got the inside, which has the band members. You got your band members. You got your Helloween logo. A cool model with a cello here. Interestingly, none of them have the lyrics, so you don't have a lyrics book or anything with the vinyls, but it does have each of the songs listed out and has the songwriting credits, especially on this one, since the songs come from different albums, it gives you the original songwriting credits. And let's take a look at the vinyls themselves. The vinyls are all these clear vinyls that look really neat. Look at that. Look, you can see me through it. it's wild. We got the little artwork there in the center. Helloween logo. Look at that. That's neat. It's fancy. And it sounds great. Here's 7 Sinners. There's your front. There's your back. Look at that with all those bonus tracks. Faster We Fall is really cool. And Aiming High. I think that one was the Japanese bonus track. Once again, in the black thing here, we got clear vinyl. Look at that. Look at that album artwork on it. It's the same on both sides. Yeah, that's cool. Here's Straight Outta Hell, which we were looking at earlier. There's your front, there's your back. I like how it's all just like junk stacked on top of each other, like ammo boxes or whatever. They really ran with the theme here. They're inside, as we saw earlier. They're the true inspiration for a drunk with power metal. And let's look at the vinyls. They have, on one side, they have the pumpkin with the gas mask, and then on the other side, it's a whole bunch of pumpkins. Do they have the skeleton pumpkin? No, it's just pumpkins. Halloween, you gotta have pumpkins. But yeah, so what's special about these 3 albums? Why the remaster? What's the point? These things came out a few years ago. What are you gonna do with that? How are you gonna mess with perfection? Well, you make it more perfect. Okay, so these albums were remastered by Darcy Proper. And Darcy Proper is known for her mastering jobs with a plethora of albums and such. Mostly in like the pop region, which makes it kind of strange that she would be remastering a Helloween record. But here we are, this is happening, it happened. So what's the difference? What did she do? Well, when you listen to the albums, you can hear the drums more clearly. They're a lot more distinct and sharp sounding. You can actually hear most of the instruments very distinct from each other, whereas the original recordings were a little bit muddy. Things felt a little bit overproduced, especially on 7 Sinners. It was really hard to hear a lot of the distinctness between the instruments, not only because of, I guess, the general mixing, but also because of that water thing that we talked about earlier. It all just kind of sounds like one thing happening, and with the remaster, like I said, you hear the drums a lot sharper, and you hear each individual instrument. If you're listening to it, you're gonna hear each instrument clearly all the way through the song. It's wild. The same is true on Unarmed, but it's not really a metal album, so it was already kind of distinct, but everything is sharper. Everything sounds, crisp is the word. Everything sounds more crisp on all 3 of these albums. The place where I got most excited for the remaster job on these albums was, of course, on my favorite album, Straight Outta Hell, on the song World of War that I was talking about earlier, because it has a little instrumental breakdown segment where it just goes into Marcus Groskopf, the bass player. He goes down into this really cool bass solo, and on the original record, you can hardly hear it. The first time I heard the song, I was like, I think there's a cool bass thing going on here, but I had to play it back so I could hear it. Now, on the remaster, it's brought up in the mix, and you can hear it perfectly clearly. The bass is a little bit more clicky, it's got more attack to it, and it's more distinct, as with the rest of the instruments. And that's how it is through the whole album. I'll even play... Let me play a clip just to kind of show you. I don't know how it's gonna go over on YouTube. You might not be able to tell the difference, but I assure you, because I did myself, if you listen to the original album's version of that bass solo, and then you listen to the remaster, it's obviously the same playing, but it sounds different, and it sounds a lot stronger, and it's just a lot more audible on the remaster. That's just how it is. Everything is brought up in a way where they're not competing with each other. They're all more distinct side by side, and it's a better overall listening experience. I think that the remaster is the ideal way to listen to these albums. If you have a choice, if one of them's cheaper than the other for some reason, I don't know why there would be, go with the remasters, man. It's just better, man. Like, I'm not a crazy audiophile. I'm not hardcore. It's gotta sound like this. But when you have the option for things to sound crisper and more distinct and be able to have a better overall listening experience, you're not gonna go wrong with these. Beyond that, like I just told you about my feelings on these albums, I love these albums. I mean, I love every Helloween album, but these are great, especially this one. You get no other remaster. Straight Out of Hell. Rules! Oh man, I've been itching to talk about Helloween since I started this channel. I've had that banner sitting back there the whole time. Occasionally I wear a Helloween shirt, but this shirt actually came with my original copy of the album Straight Out of Hell. I didn't mention that earlier. But hey, before I go, we've still got to talk about what's been happening with Helloween in the past few years. They got Pumpkins United! Helloween Pumpkins United! They got back together with all the band members from Keeper of the Seven Keys era and Walls of Jericho, because Kai Hansen, except for Ingo, rest in peace, he did pass away, but aside from him, you have the original Helloween lineup and the Keeper of the Seven Keys lineup and this lineup all in the same band at the same time. It's great, and they released a song, Pumpkins United, and they're putting out a new album next year that they've finished recording on analog recording equipment. It's crazy. It's awesome. So yeah, look forward to all that stuff. Helloween, it's an exciting time to be a Helloween fan. It's always an exciting time to be a Helloween fan because they're always putting out good stuff. But man, it's just historic right now. It's super cool. Get with it, man. Go. If it weren't for the pandemic, I'd say go see a show because they kick ass live. It's cool seeing and hearing the different singers singing each other's music. Seeing Kai Hansen playing guitar solos from like Perfect Gentleman and stuff that he wasn't even on originally. It's super cool. I love it. I want to nerd out about Helloween, and I want to nerd out about power metal. That's what we're here for. If you want to nerd out about power metal, hit like and subscribe and leave something in the comments. I don't know. What's your favorite Helloween record? What's your favorite power metal band? Something like that in the comments. Nobody ever comments on these videos, except my Wings of Destiny video. because it got retweeted and shared by Wings of Destiny, which was very cool. Thank you, Wings of Destiny. You guys kick ass. Keep making great records. Everybody go buy Revelations and their new album Ballads. Fucking rules. Helloween is great. Go get all of this. Buy every Helloween record in some form or fashion. Do it. It's great. Happy Halloween, everybody. Happy Halloween, everybody. Get a beer. Get this. Get this beer. Celebrate Halloween. Eat a lot of candy. Happy Halloween, everybody.